Hello YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget, and you do. This is the Whiteboard Wednesday where I maybe forgot I was recording and I wore a baseball cap. But maybe I wore the baseball cap and the casual attire because I wanted to teach you a lesson. And maybe I called an audible on what was scheduled to be talked about, something about Christmas and December, to shoehorn in a different topic. Because I'm reading this terribly interesting book called Thinking Fast and Slow, and it got me thinking about first impressions, and most importantly, because most important things are about budgeting, it's about budgeting. What is, one of the common questions we get, I should say, common questions is, how do I get my spouse, my partner on board? I want a budget, they don't. You are dealing with the power of first impressions, and if you have an opportunity to make a first impression, you got to make it count, and you got to do it right. Let me give you an example. For people that are just popping onto this Whiteboard Wednesday for the first time, for whatever reason, and they see me dressed like this is their first impression of the owner of YNAB, I hope they watch the whole video, because it's to make a point. But if you've seen a lot of Whiteboard Wednesdays, and you're waiting for the next one, I love you, and you see me dressed like this, you think, okay, yeah, I wonder what's in store. Oh, this is different. What's this about? But you have all of these previous experiences to frame and explain very casual, very different baseball cap backward attire. So you're using all of your prior experience to explain this new development and connect them. In this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, there was this really interesting bit where they talk about a list of words and they're describing someone. And I just made up my own words here. But if you read hooligan, casual, troublemaker, and then read intelligent, hardworking, you associate the first words you read, you use those to frame the rest of the words. So the meaning of the word intelligent is changed because you're kind of funneling it through the words of hooligan and casual. If you flip it around and you see someone that's intelligent, hardworking, hooligan, casual, troublemaker, you start to say, oh, okay, yeah, they're intelligent, but maybe they like practical jokes, just having a good time. But if you flip it around the other way, they're a hooligan, they're casual, they're a troublemaker, and they're intelligent, oh my gosh, we have a major problem. They talk about this a lot as you have this first impression opportunity. So, to go back to the budget, you've got to make it count. And I've talked about this before. You have to make sure that the first impression of your idea about budgeting is one that is positive. You don't want to start out with hooligan or troublemaker or diet or prison or restriction. You want to start out with vacation or purchasing something you've been wanting for a long time, or loosening the purse strings a little bit. You want to start on the positive side. That way, the person that you're convincing, the one you're persuading, and this is something that I should use in marketing, now that I think about it, this is where you have an opportunity to frame for them, to kind of give them a budgeting first impression, where they realize, oh, it means we can go out and buy something guilt-free? Absolutely. It doesn't mean that we're cutting back, it means we're letting loose. Go figure. So, this is the first time I used an object lesson, which was my attire, because I forgot. But the point is this: if you come here now and your first impression of me is backward hat, hoodie, I'm going to rob a bank maybe, right? But I teach budgeting. That's how you're going to be framed. That's your first impression. And from here on out, your first impression of me is, oh, it's that guy that wears a baseball cap, he's really casual, he talks about money, used to be a CPA. How do I explain that in this, right? You're always trying to explain it based on that first impression. On the other hand, if you looked back to my first Whiteboard Wednesdays where I was wearing a tie and dressed really nice, then you would explain this in a different way. It's the same with budgeting. When you're convincing someone that it's a good thing, you want to make that strong first impression. Have it be super positive. First budget meeting, have it be amazing and short and only positive. And then, from there on out, that's how they will see budgeting. You are dealing with a lot of preconceived notions, but I promise you, if you can start here where you kind of craft the ideal first experience, I promise you it will go a long, long ways. I will see you next week. I will not be dressed like this. I will be dressed back in my normal attire. I appreciate you letting me be so casual today. Have a good December, guys.